So, I haven't uploaded a sparring video in a while, and a few people have asked for them, even though they don't usually get a lot of views. But the main reason is, well, this grainy, pixelated, poorly lit mess. Well, the lighting where we practice has never been very good, and now it's even worse. Especially when zooming in the slow-mo footage is just eye-cancerous. And I try to use filters and grain removers, but all they do is make everything blurry, so that doesn't help a lot either. And I can't bring all my video lighting every time I go there, so yeah, it's gonna be a mess. Sorry guys, but you asked for it, so here's something, I guess. So here Chris transitioned into a cut from a feigned thrust, but I interrupted it with a strike. Throwing cuts outside of measure is often not a good idea. I was trying to bait him out here, but Chris is just too experienced and didn't take the bait. Again, cutting out of measure, which he promptly punishes by cutting to my arm. Yeah, for some reason I still stick to left side wrath a lot of the time. I'm more comfortable there compared to right. It may have to do with the messed up right knee. This was closely calculated. I figured his cut wouldn't quite reach me, so I just stayed in high guard and then threw a cut. But I was also a bit far away, so only the tip of my sword hit his knee, and we didn't even notice at the time. And I don't think it was really a valid hit. You need to connect with more of the blade for a really good cut. Again, trying to bait him out. I should know by now that doesn't really work on him. But here I snuck in a shield how to the arm. It looks a little flat in the slow-mo. Not sure. And here a quick cut to the arm. Was doing a little hop there. Dubious footwork, but oh well. It worked that time. Now against Torben. He likes binding, winding, point work, and grappling. There is a good example of that.
Oh, the fending thrust.
So generally you shouldn't throw a thrust while there's a cut coming in, but this worked for him because I was trying to use a feint and then cutting from the other side, plus he executed the thrust in such a way that it bound me up, so I couldn't execute the cut properly. And here we were getting too close to the camera.
Oh, watch out. Camera.
There, interrupted his false edge cut.
Oh, sorry.
And I apologize there because I hit him right after he called the hit, but it was just kind of an automated reflex because I was doing a deflectional parry, so his cut just powered my counter cut and I didn't stop it in time. Here dipped under his blade with an overly large circle and then came in for the thrust. His cut landed flat and didn't have much rotation. And this is where I screwed up. You do not grapple against such a large, strong guy. I was trying what I could, but nope.
Hold. Nice counter grapple attempt, though.
Yeah.
No one had an advantage there.
I was trying to go around.
Oh, yeah. I honestly don't know if that would have enough power.
Probably not.
I mean, can you cut like that?
Not enough to stop him, at least.
No, not enough to stop him, no.
It's like wrestling with a boulder. As I said, he likes grappling, so it's definitely better to get out of the way. He had the right idea here. He was trying to break my cut. I was just a little faster and got his arm. Now again against Chris. He's on the left. I was starting to move in there, but his cut dissuaded me. That was close, would have probably gotten me if I hadn't moved back. And then the arm snipe. That's a problem with Wrathguard. You can't get too close without risking to get a quick cut to the arm or a thrust or something like that. If I had committed to that cut and moved laterally, I would have probably dealt with it, but this was no good. It's a quick exchange of cuts and parries. We both cut at the same time here. Lateral movement would have won this for one or the other. Chris didn't like his cut on that one, probably because it lacked follow through, but I'm more inclined to count this as a double because cutting into his cut without lateral movement or aggressively crossing the line was not a good move on my part. I should have just parried this one instead of trying to evade it. Oh well. It's one of those moments where somebody advances and there's a point in their face and they're like, nope, not doing this. The old intercepting cut to the arm.
Wow, very nice.
I tend to not use thrusts very much, so I'm working on it. This one went pretty well. Coming in with a thrust, and as soon as he deflects that, I cut to the other side. Well, it's Chris against Torben. Two are trying to get a feel for the other's blade. And then Chris commits. Almost got him. So Torben's cut here is flat, and Chris connects solidly.
Oh, wow.
That's a good one. Chris wins the bind and gets the thrust in.
There you go.
Here's a nice one. Before Chris can roll around for the cut, Torben strikes him in the arm. As far as I can see, it landed flat, so that wouldn't be a valid cut, but still nicely done. And now we're nearing the end. So, as said, you can see why I'm not thrilled by footage like this. Terrible image quality. Okay, so finally, here's a sneaky one that I like. Retreating while throwing a shield how to the arm. This way, he can't hit me because I'm already out of measure. Anyway, thanks for watching this grainy, pixelated mess, and have a good one, folks.